Yo, people, welcome back into the building. You already know what time it is. It's time for your Lateness is Greatness stream, your daily, not so daily World Cup catch up. Do you know what I'm saying? We have to do an episode of this today because what I witnessed tonight was football heritage. Do you know what I'm saying? Real football heritage, ladies and gentlemen. I've got some of my favorite images going across the screen there. We have to discuss it and discuss a couple of other topics as well. A couple Chelsea related ones, but definitely got to discuss what we saw today. I have to start with Mbappe, man, because this guy is on a villain arc. If you haven't noticed already, do you know what I'm saying? He's on a villain arc. Mbappe is definitely out for redemption. And I think Didier Deschamps came out after the game and he said that Mbappe is trying to win this World Cup. It's his target to win this World Cup. Now, we've seen all of the headlines over the last few months about PSG and wanting to leave and Real Madrid and all of these different things that have mainly negative news on Mbappe. And I feel like he hasn't really spoken or responded too much. I mean, he's had little things here and there saying this is true, this is not, this is fake, But I feel like this guy right now is out to ruin everybody's day. Because when the World Cup started, everybody was like, oh, we need Messi to win it. Oh, we need Ronaldo to win it. Or we need Neymar to win it. No one mentioned France because we've already seen France win it. To do back-to-back World Cups is a rarity. I think it's only Brazil and Italy that have done it. The man were telling me that today. So we look at it, we think, well, France, there's no need for them to do it twice in a row. They had a bad Euros. Let's leave France out of this one. You guys sit aside. Do you know what I'm saying? You back in the queue. You know, if you've had your World Cup, now piss off home. Do you know what I'm saying? Back in the queue, back of the line, get out of the way. Let's let some of the big dogs get involved again. Well, listen, I don't know what to say because Mbappe is not having any of it. He's not having any of it, man. And all these injuries that have kind of plagued France, we thought had plagued France. I've watched them now 2 games and they look the most complete. They look, obviously Spain are yet to play. They have to play Germany. When we see Spain come out for the second time, we're going to be able to really talk about it. But France, their performance against Australia, and obviously now Denmark, both teams you expect them to beat, there'll be tougher tests ahead. But when they're on their best behavior, they really do just ooze class, man. Dembele, Mbappe, these wide players around Giroud. And now that there's no Pogba, there's no Kante, there's no Benzema, I feel like Mbappe's taking it upon himself to say, listen, last World Cup, it was kind of Pogba and it was me and it was Griezmann and it's kind of a little bit everybody kind of getting involved. Now it's just me. I'm just gonna drag this. And of course, there's other players like I just mentioned, you know, Dembele's, etc. But he said, listen, I'm the star now. I'm gonna take over. And the guys are menace. You know what I'm saying? The pace that he has, the link-up play, the back heel in the Australia game for the Giroud tap-in, obviously back heel for Rabio, I believe, in the pullback for Giroud. Unbelievable vision, unbelievable awareness. The guy on this left-hand side, I'm starting to understand why he's so desperate to play on the left-hand side for PSG. Because when we all heard that, we're like, listen, Mbappe, bro, you got Neymar next to you. You got Messi next to you. Just stop complaining, please. Like, yes, you might want to play on the left, but you're playing up front. You have to do the job. Messi and Neymar are tucking in behind. Just deal with it. Do you know what I'm saying? You're playing with some of the most gifted footballers on the planet. There should really be no complaints. But when you see Mbappe playing on this left wing, in his favoured position with the striker, which is what he wanted. I think reportedly he wanted Lewandowski signed so he could play on the left and then Lewandowski would play up front. Neymar apparently to be sold. You see the way he's playing on this left-hand side. It is beautiful to watch. I must say, the guy is bringing all the creativity, all the juices. He's bringing the vision, the application in the final third to find others. Not greedy whatsoever. It's wonderful to see. We're going to talk more about it, but let me go through some of the comments. Let's see. I'm starting to like him a lot. He's giving me Ronaldo vibes in terms of his villain arc. Bro, this villain arc, it kind of suits him. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's kind of got their like bad narrative on him now because of all the reports and everything that we've seen. He's not really spoken about it. I think he's dug deep and he's found the devil inside him, and he's just said, I'm going to ruin everybody's World Cup. Because like I said, everybody wants one of those three players to win it: Ronaldo, Messi, or Neymar, for the legacies, for the history. Because obviously Ronaldo and Messi are in their last World Cup. Everybody's begging for these guys to win it. But Mbappe said, listen, you can hold that. Do you know what I'm saying? I want my second World Cup. I want my Ballon d'Or. I want my status. I want all of it. Hakeem saying, I want Mbappe to win if Argentina don't. I'm sad you didn't start with Rabio, the real GOAT. Yeah. This is funny coming from you, bro, because I remember, I'm pretty sure you was ready to get rid of that guy. Do you know what I'm saying? But the way he's performing for France, he's doing his thing. I can't lie. I'm not a massive fan of Rabio, but I have to admit his first two performances for France have been very, very impressive in that midfield. The overhead kick, scissor kick type shot that he tried today, on top of the performance that he put in with the goal against Australia, and of course getting involved as well, I think, with the assist. He's had a great start to the World Cup, Rabio. You can't not give him his flowers. He's playing next to Tchouameni. He's playing it very, very well. He's giving me Xhaka vibes. He's giving me Granit Xhaka vibes, where he was hated, disliked, all of the drama with the mother and whatnot. Obviously, Xhaka had the drama telling the Arsenal fans to F off and whatnot. But now they've been released. They're not playing as the deepest midfielder. They're playing next to someone who's going to sit, Tchouameni, party, etc. And they're told to just get forward, freedom, football, enjoy. And I'm not going to lie, he's playing very well. That's the comparison that I kind of have to make, because both of them are on a little villain arc as well themselves, and they're doing their thing. I don't know though. He doesn't really. I don't know if he does this for Juventus though. I don't know if you still want to keep him, bro. But you know what I mean. It is what it is. No, you didn't throw up smart guy on there. Listen, we had to do it, man. We had to throw up everybody on the screen. You know what I'm saying? What do you can't believe? We had to get it done. But in terms of France, I've been extremely impressed. I think Dembele, you know my thoughts on him. I was worried about his injuries. Julian Laurent's coming here and told me he's over his injuries. I said, I don't know, Julian. I said, I don't know, man. You know, he's been injured a lot of times. He's a winger. They get injured. Do you know what I mean? People clamp into them. They get stuck in. They want to take him out. He said that they're not injured. He's not injured anymore. He's over his injury issues. I wasn't too sure. It looks like he is. When Dembele is at his best and he's over his injury issues, which he is at the moment, and he's just so unpredictable, man. Both feet. He's one of the most creative players on the planet, really. If we're being honest, he's one of the most creative players on the planet, because you cannot predict what he's going to do. I love these two-footed players. And I'm not talking about two-footed strikers or two-footed finishers. I'm talking about two-footed creators like Santi Cazorla. Players like this. This tool that he has to go both ways, you can't underestimate it, because you just cannot defend against this. The guy's got pace. The guy's got trickery. The guy can use both feet. He can cross with both feet. He could, if he added goals to his game, he could actually do a Ballon d'Or. That's how good he actually is when he's on his game. If he could add goals to his game, that's the only thing I have issue with him, is that he's not really that clinical. Can't really trust him for goals. If you look at his statistics over the years, it's always been creativity, assists. You can't really trust him for goals. His goals is pretty shabby on club level. If you could get this guy shooting like human Son, and then take Son's finishing and put it into this guy's rest of his game that he's got, plus the application, the focus, and wow, the fitness. What a player. Honestly, what a player you would have. You got to put some respect on Griezmann's name as well. I don't know how he keeps turning up for international. Do you know what I'm saying? With all of the club madness up and down that he's had, he's not really been settled. He kind of went to Barcelona. It didn't really work out with Messi, maybe playing in the same position. And then, you know, in same zones, and then he's gone back to Atletico. We are talking about Dembele as well, 100%. We are talking about Mbappe. We're talking about Dembele right now. We spoke about Mbappe. We're going to talk more about Mbappe. That France forward line, and again, I feel like Giroud is helping. Do you know what I mean? As much as disrespect as he got when Benzema was back, everybody was like, "Oh, bun Giroud, stick him on the bench, etc." When you look at Giroud, the guy is making these guys play really well around him, and that can't be no coincidence. We see it time and time again for club and country, whether it be Pulisic, whether it be Hazard, whether it be Rafael Leao, whether it be Mbappe, Dembele. These guys just seem to love playing alongside him. Even though he did get in the way a little bit for Mbappe's shot, I actually understood what he was trying to do. People in the commentary were like, "Oh, you shouldn't, get in Mbappe's way. What are you doing?" Giroud was trying to pull off to the left because he wanted Mbappe to then cut in on his right and then obviously do his thing. But Mbappe just kept going and decided to go straight. But Tchouameni as well. I'm never going to get over this one, guys. And I hope you understand why, because Tchouameni is one hell of a footballer, okay? His stat line is ridiculous. He passes the eye test. He's just an incredible, incredible, incredible footballer. He's got 96 and 98 pass completion in the first 2 games. He obviously, again, is heavily involved in terms of getting involved in this match. 66 out of 67 passes completed today. 81 touches, 2 key passes, 1 big chance created, 12 defensive actions. And he's so young. And it just pains me. It pains me that we didn't bring this guy in. He's just that good. He really is just that good. The ship has sailed, but what a player, man. What a player, honestly. I mean, real state Liverpool, Tchouameni went under Liverpool's nose and Chelsea had scouted him for 18 months before both of us fuming. We will regret that decision. Us 2 clubs will regret that decision for the next decade because he's not leaving Real Madrid. Once you go to Real Madrid, you ain't really leaving. Do you know what I mean? He's not leaving Real Madrid. He's there now. He's going to be there for the next decade. How old is he? I think he's 22? Let me check. This guy is he is what everybody needs. Do you know what I'm saying? 22 years old, yep. Born in 2000. He's just a quality footballer. He really is, man. You have to give it to him. A lot of us called it. A lot of us all called it. Sat in there. We said, listen, he's at Monaco. The season before he signed for Real Madrid, I was banging on about him. People were saying, oh, why are you so obsessed? I remember DG on Rancid stream saying, why are you so obsessed with Tchouameni? Why'd you keep bringing up Tchouameni? People keep asking me all the time. I remember Saj as well. Saj, oh, why'd you keep bringing up Tchouameni? Stop bringing up Tchouameni. Every single day, Tchouameni. Because if you got this guy, then you could go and stick someone like Enzo next to him. Look at this brother right here. Enzo, what a footballer. Enzo Fernandez. We're gonna talk about it. Let's go through some of the comments. Mbappe is the best player in the world right now. I agree. He is the best player in the world right now. Haaland, I think somebody wrapped this up really well on Twitter and they got it spot on for me. Haaland is the generational finisher and Mbappe is the generational footballer. And Mbappe is always going to be clear of Haaland. You can see it. You just have to watch them. Haaland is devastating with the finishing, but he doesn't want to take too many touches. You don't want him to take too many touches. He's the last touch. He's the final third. He's the guy that puts the ball in the back of the net. But Mbappe, he's giving me Henry. He's giving me Henry vibes. He's giving me Henry vibes. I don't think he's as skillful as Henry, but he's not strong. Maybe he's not as good as Henry, but he's definitely Henry's son. He's definitely the heir to the throne. Not saying he's better, but he might score more goals at international level. In fact, he definitely will score more international goals. But it's just a little comparison in terms of the way that he plays off that left-hand side. He's just devastating. His pace is ridiculous. Now, I wouldn't say he's as good as Henry because Henry was able to do the pass. Mbappe can pass, but he can't pass like Henry. Henry would drop way deeper, get involved in the build-up. He would do madness. But if Mbappe keeps developing, you never know. He might even develop that side of his game as well. Henry started as a left winger. Rome weren't built in a day. So yeah, he's only 20 goals off Henry's record. Let's be real, he's going to break the record. He's 100% going to break the record. You're right. Monster definitely got me on that Tchouameni train. He was chatting to me about him all that time. And then I went, you know what, let me go and take a look. And I was like, yes, I agree, sir. I agree. What a player. I kept telling my mate about Tchouameni. He said, you need to calm down, bro. No. He's not as good technically as Henry, but he's as good as it gets in this era. Facts. That's the facts. For sure, if you was to put Mbappe alongside other wingers in previous generations, Henry's winger to striker, even Suarez, is he on the level of these players? For me, technically, no, he's not. He's not Henry. He's not Suarez. He's not, Ronaldinho or, he's not Zidane. But for what we got this era, I'm not gonna lie, you better enjoy because this is as good as it gets. Do you know what I'm saying? You ain't getting much better than this at the moment. Even players like, Felix, who had that tech at Benfica and probably still has it, has been washed out the game by Simeone. So you ain't really got a lot left. Do you know what I'm saying? There's not really a lot left. You may as well enjoy what you can get. Take what you can get, as they say. Don't get greedy. Do you know what I'm saying? Because there's not much food on the table. There's not much food on the table at all. We're We're not gassing him because of his goal. No, you know, he's been talked about for a very, very long time. If you didn't know about him, then you're gonna have to get to know. The guy has been spoken about in Portuguese football for a while now. Definitely all of this season, maybe a little bit last season as well. But this season is when I've really only come to know him, and he's dominating in all metrics. Do you know what I'm saying? The guy is he's the next one up. And I mentioned him in ones to watch in my video, but I said, you know what, he's probably not going to play that much because DePaul starts and they've got other experienced players that they start ahead of him. And that's right. We saw it. He's only come off the bench today, 39 minutes. He didn't start in the last game. But I think they're going to have to get up and take notice. If you look at his rankings and if you take a look at even his percentiles, this guy, his metrics is just ridiculous. He's first for completed passes in the Portuguese league. He's first for final third passes. He's first for progressive passes. He's first for total distance covered. He's first for touches, and he's second for expected assists. Enzo Fernandez has been killing it for Benfica, and everybody who watches Benfica, my friend, you know, Rabio, Rabona TV, you'll know him. You may know him. Been on the channel before. Big Benfica fan. You know, he knows Enzo Fernandez. He knows. And a lot of people know about Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez is not really new, you know. But this guy, you know, now on the international stage, I was hoping he was going to get his chance. He was on the one to watch, but I didn't give him too much talk because I thought he's not going to play. And, you know, they're on a 36-game unbeaten run. There's no need to mix up their midfield, to be fair. DePaul did have a good, despite what you're seeing from DePaul, he was good in the qualifiers. I promise you. He was actually good in the qualifiers. He was actually good in the Copa America. I don't know what the hell's going on with DePaul right now. But Enzo Fernandez has taken his chance. And that goal, I mean, the quality speaks for itself. The guy just wrapped his foot around it. It's a beautiful, beautiful finish. And if you pair him up next to the right DM in a double pivot, you've got yourselves a beautiful, beautiful midfield. You really do. Todd, pay the money and don't speak. I mean, personally, a lot of people have been talking about Bellingham, and I'm not. You ain't really seen no Bellingham prop from me. Not because I don't rate Bellingham, but one, I don't think we're getting Bellingham because I think he's going to Real Madrid or Man City. I've said that so many times. But B, he's going to cost a stupid amount of money. And I think if this guy's going to be cheaper, you already saw in career mode in FIFA yesterday, I'm about to get Enzo Fernandez myself. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm about to bring him in. Who's going to get Bruno Fernandez? We saw Enzo this. No, let's get Enzo, man. Let's get Enzo. Enzo, he's going to cost a lot, for sure. He's going to cost a lot of money. Benfica are not stupid. They know what they got. But he's going to be less than Jude. And I think, you know, there's this fetish for an all-English midfield at Chelsea. I don't know why. Do you know what I mean? At first, it was Mason Mount, Gallagher, and Rice. And now it's Bellingham, Rice, and Mason Mount. And by all means, under a better coach, not Southgate, I have no doubts that three could do decently. It could do well. But I want communication problems. I want a different sauce in the pan. I want some different type of flair on that football pitch. I don't want an all-English breakfast. I don't want sausages, bacon, and hash brown. I want a little bit of something different. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know what they have for breakfast in Argentina, but I want some of that. Do you know what I'm saying? Give me some flavor. Yeah? Give me some extra spices. Give me something else. Give me something different. Give me communication problems. I want to hear Mason point to his ear and be like, I didn't understand you, Enzo. I want that. Yeah? That's what I want. Give us something else, you know? Enough of this. Enough of this, you know, homegrown Brexit. Listen, we're not the government. We didn't vote for that at Chelsea. We can pick up players from everywhere, wherever we want. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's give a little bit of seasoning. Let's give a little bit of seasoning. Enzo is that seasoning, that South American flavor, South American grit. You can't say, you know, he's a hard worker, so you can't complain about that. All the not pressing and da-da-da. He's covered the distance. He's got the mileage in. But when he gets that football, he's just very cultured. He's got something. Sometimes, you know, it's as simple as just watching a player, the way they move. I was watching Saudi Arabia today, and the reason why I was so impressed with them at times is because the way they move that ball about, the way that they're able to roll that foot over the ball. You know, sometimes you just want a little bit of something different. You know, all the English players, they take the control with their side foot. I want someone who's going to roll the ball over with that. Just roll your foot over the ball. It makes a difference. It will help. It will make the Stamford Bridge sell out. It will make people cheer. You know what I'm saying? Give me some flavor. It's what we want to see, man. You know, and it surprises me so much with Chelsea fans, especially when we go for this all-English midfield. I don't know why. You've seen Ramirez at this football club. You've seen the Balak Essien, Makalele Lampard. You've seen, you know, all of these different nationalities coming together to give all of their different inputs and source. And yet you want to bland it out. You want to bland it up. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I'm saying? You want all of these carbohydrates, bro. Give me some chicken. Do you know what I'm saying? Give me some chicken. What's going on? Do you know what I'm saying? Give me something. So yeah, man. Listen, this guy, he's looking like a baller. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't claim to watch Benfica games. I've only seen them really in Europe when I get an opportunity to. To be honest, I'm usually looking at someone else and Benfica are involved in it. I'm like, okay, cool. But I've taken a liking to Benfica over the years. You know, when you look at Felix, you know, players coming through that team. There's been some Ramirez, David Luiz. We got something nice. Benfica's got something for us. Benfica's got something for us, man. They're a good team. They've always had nice players coming out of that team. Obviously, we played them in the Europa League final. There's a little bit of history there. I like it. There's a lot. I like it. Something there. I'm a Benfica fan, and he's classed every game. There was one game against Rio in which he didn't misplace a single pass and created 4 big chances, bro. I mean, listen. And I don't know, I mean, bro, you tell me, what kind of price are you looking for Enzo? Let's start our negotiations today. What kind of price are you looking for Enzo, Jose? Let me know. But listen, we gotta get ahead of the curve. You know, too many times we see Chelsea, we wait for the player to burst onto the scene. We wait for the player to appear. And then when they've appeared and they're worth 120, 130 million, that's when we go for them. Enzo was signed by Benfica for 10 million pounds. 10 million pounds. We need to be getting these guys. We need to be getting them before they're 100 million pound players. We got to. And we got to get them the year before they blow. Because when they blow, everybody comes in and then suddenly now competition and Real Madrid and all these clubs. If you get them that year before, take that. Look, Edison, another example as well. Do you know? We gotta start getting ahead of the curve a little bit. Let's see what's going on here in this chat. So yeah, man, Enzo, I got a lot of time right now for him, man. I mean, he's not your DM, by the way. He's not your DM. We still need to get a DM, but he's a lovely player to pair next to him. And you know that my thoughts on Kante and Jorginho, for me, I get rid of them both at the same time. And this is why I don't understand why people tell me, oh, we can't get rid of them both at the same time. Or we have to keep one. Bruh, you see man them like Enzo Fernandez popping up, Tchouameni popping up. Imagine if you put them both together and you told me that was the midfield tomorrow. You think you would, no disrespect, but do you think you would miss Kante and Jorginho, who one is injury prone and we never see, and one has got flaws in his game despite the class that he can show at times? Do you think you would really miss them, bro? Move on, brother. Move on. Do you know how many players I've seen come through this Chelsea football club? Do you know how many players have left? I've seen Terry leave. I've seen Lampard, Drogba. All these players hang up their boots. And yeah, we're going to miss them because they're legends and they're world class when they were playing. But you have to move on. You have to move on, man. You have to move on. Let's see what's being said. Tobe says he wouldn't take Enzo at Spurs because of Bentancur. I mean, you need creativity in that midfield. You know, that midfield is very bland in terms of everybody's the same. Nobody can create a chance to save their life. They can run, hustle and bustle, win the ball back, maybe even provide a goal, Højbjerg and Bentancur every now and then, but there's absolutely no sorcery in that midfield. Let's see what else is being said. I mean, yes, we've got Carney. Do you know what I'm saying? We've got Quesadilla. Do you know what I'm saying? That brother that I like to call one of my favorite foods. Yeah, man. It's looking good in the midfield department, but let's not slack. Let's not slack. Yeah, 100% as well. I mean, I haven't watched much of this kid, but he looks promising as well. I don't know when we bring in this guy, where he goes. Does he go straight into the first team? Is he gonna? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where he's slotting in. It's just a lot of young players now coming into the squad. What's the expectation? All these things. People saying he's gonna be 100. What, Lord? Man said 150 million. No. We can do better than McKennie, man. We can do better than McKennie. Also, I didn't like the fact that he wiped his hands on the old cameraman. Do you know what I'm saying? That was a bit disrespectful. I can't lie. Enzo has 100 million release clause. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, 120 million euros is his release clause first year, so we won't sell. Blonde, Jesus Christ. We can't catch a break, man. Oh my goodness. Jesus. You can't do us a little discount, no? Man, if this was FIFA career mode, man, I'd have my way with this. I'm telling you, you wouldn't be hearing about these figures, man. You need to hire me as director of football immediately. I wouldn't be having none of this nonsense. Bro, the team that he scored a hat-trick against today was the team that I used to play against in Sunday League. No disrespect. I don't know if you man who's from London, but Dulwich Hamlet. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a borough or an area in London. Do you know what I mean? Dulwich. You know Dulwich? Bro, less calma. Do you know what I'm saying? He did play a Sunday League team from what I'm aware of. I really don't. Let me Google Dulwich Hamlet, fam. And the fact that we conceded 3 goals against them is what is more alarming. Everybody took notice of the goal. I took notice of the fact that we conceded 3 goals against them. I thought that was pretty embarrassing. Let me read this out. Dulwich Hamlet Football Club is a football club based in East Dulwich in Southeast London. They are currently members of the National League South, the 6th tier of English football, and play at Champions Hill. Do you know what? They're a lot better than I thought they were. I thought they were a Sunday League team. Okay, they're in the 6th division. That's not too bad. I thought it was a lot worse. They're in the same league as Darlington. We will big up Darlington. We know them. Chester, yeah. Chesington and that. Is that Peterborough? No way. Wow, they can't be down there, surely. What? No, that's Peterborough Sports. Peterborough Sports, you know. Not Peterborough United, Peterborough Sports. Sounds like the university team or something. Hereford, that's one of the last stops on the Great Northern Line and that. Bradford, but that's a different Bradford as well. This one's called Bradford Park Avenue. Sounds like a bus stop. Yeah, you know what I'm saying anyway. It's not looking like a very good league, so we move. Why would anybody join our club? We're not finishing top 4. Well, listen, because we're still the mighty Chelsea. That's why. Do you know what I'm saying? We're still the mighty Chelsea. We still got pull power, hopefully. Now, let's talk about the GOATs before we get into some other things as well. Let's talk about the GOATs. Messi tonight, not his greatest performance before the goal. Not really that good at all. But the way that this man just came out of nowhere with that finish, I mean, I'm still thinking about that goal right now. Messi, it was just, he rolled the clock back. He really did. He rolled back the time with that finish. He just pulled the trigger right into the bottom corner. It was beautiful. Do you know what I mean? A wonderful, wonderful long shot. And I saw people on the TL calling him out. I saw people calling him out. They said, Ronaldo scored. Do you know what I'm saying? We're going to get to him in a minute. Ronaldo scored. Mbappe scored. Messi, come outside. Answer the front door. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't be scared. Come on, man. This is the GOAT. Now, everybody's got their own GOAT, which is why I said GOATs with an S in the title, but you know who my GOAT is. But I respect Ronaldo, but this is my GOAT. Calling out the GOAT. I know he hasn't scored in the knockout round of this World Cup, okay? He'll get that done. Don't worry. This year, he's getting that done. Lewandowski just got his first World Cup goal. Everybody's doing their thing. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's crushing their records. But to call out the GOAT, like he hasn't proved himself enough to you people, it's just despicable. It's absolutely despicable. It's a disgrace. If you want me to be honest, it's a real disgrace. You know, you're calling out the GOAT. Look at that picture. You're calling out the GOAT. Like as if he has anything left to prove to you, you silly people. Not you guys I'm talking to, just the people online. Just ridiculous. Ridiculous. Yeah, you're saying he was missing in the first half. Listen, I'm not going to disagree with you. I don't think he was great. But if you call the GOAT's name, the GOAT answers the front door. He's always answered the front door, and he'll continue to answer the front door. Do you know what I'm saying? If you ring his doorbell at no matter what time of night, he will come to the door and answer. No matter what the danger is, no matter if it's fireworks night, Halloween night, Christmas Eve, he comes to the door and he answers. Do you know what I'm saying? So no matter who your GOAT is, just remember, you got to respect. Do you know what I'm saying? You got to respect Leo Messi because the guy, he's having a good season and you know, listen, he might not be having a great game, but he can do magic like that. It was a beautiful finish and it opened things up. Argentina, to be fair, they're everybody's favorites. I don't think they're looking like favorites yet, but we'll see how it goes. Do you know what I mean? At least they got their 3 points. They needed their 3 points. It could have went out. You know, that game was in the balance for long enough. Too long. Could have been sticky. Things could have gone very left for Argentina. If Mexico had done something, they would have been out, finished. And I don't know what kind of backlash that country would have got for that. So, yeah, man, just an incredible footballer. And obviously, Ronaldo getting his goal as well. Do you know what, yeah? Banter aside, it's time to come together with these two, because really the debate, there's no point having it anymore. Do you know what I mean? You have your opinion, you're not going to shift it now. And I think even Ronaldo said, no matter who wins the World Cup, he said if he wins the World Cup, it doesn't make a difference to the debate, which I respect. And I think they've always had respect for each other. I have to respect it. Again, when it matters most, the pressure penalty, put it in the back of the net. But when he was teary-eyed before the game, I think I saw him kind of teary-eyed to the national anthem and whatnot. I think he knows this is his last World Cup. I know on Piers Morgan, he kind of said, you know, I know he said on Piers Morgan he might do one more. With the way things are going, I don't really see that. It doesn't really make sense. I don't think Portugal should be giving him another World Cup as well. I think they should be moving on after this one. This is the last one for me. Last one for both of them. It's sad, man. You know, as much as we've all done our banter and our debates and all this and rare-te-te, when these two go, we are going to miss the shit out of these two players. Seriously. When Ronaldo and Messi, and I think personally, I'd love them to retire at the same time. I'd love them to retire at the same time. It would be brilliant because it would stop all of the talk. But I highly doubt it's going to happen at the same time. Messi's a lot younger, but a couple of years younger. When these two go, wow, it's gonna be a damn shame for football, because I don't know in my lifetime if I'm gonna see. I'm pretty sure in my lifetime I'm not gonna see two players as good as this. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, Messi is for me the best, and I don't think I'm even gonna see another Ronaldo in my lifetime personally. I really don't. You know what Ronaldo hasn't got that Messi has, maybe with, you know, taking on 5, 6, 7, 8 players or something. The guy's got the leap. The guy's got that heading ability. That some of the goals we've seen this guy score in the air he's been moving like a jet, like a plane, rising up off the ground like as if gravity is nobody's business. Some of the long shots, like the one against Porto, against Arsenal, the power. You know, I don't really think I've seen Messi score from that distance. Do you know what I mean? Some of the overhead kicks and the scissor kicks and all these things. Honestly, man, and especially with the way football is going, you know how it's getting a lot more systematic. Freedom is being taken out of the game. Individual quality and ability is kind of being taken out of these players from young, and they're being told to move the ball along quickly. Bruh, I just don't think we're going to get two players like this again. So we gotta appreciate, man, because the records, you know, the consistency. I know recently the unprofessionalism started to creep in because maybe the ego and whatnot, but he's the most followed man on Instagram. You know, I'm gonna cut him a little bit of slack. The professionalism up until this point has been immaculate, and to do what he's done, to go alongside with Messi all this time and pip him some years as well for them Ballon d'Ors, I respect it. I do respect it. Outside of all the trolling, all the banter, I still don't want him at Chelsea. I don't want him anywhere near Chelsea. But that doesn't mean I don't have any respect for him. That just means I don't want him anywhere near Chelsea, because it's not the answer. It's too late. It's too late. But wow, I mean, the two players are just, yeah, man, they're proper. And I like this. You know, this is what I wanted to really see for Manchester United. Obviously, he hasn't got the same bond maybe with the coach. He said that already. But to go on the sidelines, to be cheering his team on, to be sticking that hand up and saying, you know, do this, do that. I don't mind it. You know, I know a lot of people say, oh, you're not the manager. But listen, the manager of Portugal is not really that great. I've heard. Do you know what I'm saying? I've seen as well. It's not looking like he's that guy. So it's not Jose Mourinho on that Portuguese bench. I would love to see Jose Mourinho manage Portugal, by the way. I would love to see Pep manage maybe a Spain or a Brazil. I want some of the GOATs, some of the best managers, to go and manage these international teams and go and bring their World Cups for their teams. But that's probably later on in their career. But yeah, man, very, very impressed, man. But you might want him. I don't know who you support, but I don't want him. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we keep it 100. Anyway, so that's on Ronaldo. You know, he gets his penalty and he does his thing. Messi obviously gets his wonder goal as well. They do their thing. Some beautiful celebrations in there as well. I've got some of the pictures. Some of my favorite pictures. I think this Mbappe one is pretty symbolic. It's very clear that he's the leader in that French team. At least he's got the biggest status as well. He's the one that they're looking to take them furthest in the competition. You've got Ronaldo, who's always going to lead for Portugal. Messi, who's always going to lead for Argentina. Neymar, who, again, I'll get onto in a minute, but he's injured. He'll always lead for Brazil. And then you've got Mbappe leading for France. it's the race for the World Cup, people. And I truly believe one of these 4 players are taking it. It's why I've put the focus on them. But if Mbappe spoils it for the world by taking another World Cup and not letting one of these other guys strengthen their legacy, well, I have to respect it if he does that, because it's the ultimate villain. It's the ultimate villain arc if he does manage to, kind of taint these other players' careers in a small way, because everybody knows to complete that set for Maradona, for Pele, you need a World Cup. You don't need it to have our respect, of course not, to be one of the GOATs, no. But to just give the little cherry on top of the cake, you need that World Cup. It's just something that you need to get. It's gold. You know what I'm saying? It's the most beautiful trophy in sport. And everybody wants one of them to get it. And then if not one of those 2 GOATs, then Neymar to get it, who, as you can see here, is injured and is getting hacked down in the Brazil games. Because Neymar, it will contribute to his legacy and just it feels like he needs it for his career, to be honest. But if Mbappe takes that shit, his 2nd World Cup, by the way, this would be his 2nd World Cup at 23 years old. He is the only player that is level with Pele statistically for teenager to do, a goal in the final, teenager to do this, under 23, under 24 to do that. He's alongside Pele for all these stats. It's only him and Pele together. Him and Pele. If he takes another World Cup off this lot, as much as I'm going to be pissed off, because he can get another one. Don't be greedy. I say it all the time. World Cups every 4 years. Don't get greedy. But if he takes it off of these lot, I'm going to have to respect it. And they're going to have to respect it as well. They're going to have to. So, yeah, it's unbelievable. Let's see. Does Argentina go through with a draw against Poland? I don't think that confirms it. No, I don't think it does. I won't be playing FIFA tonight. No, I won't be playing it tonight. In order to enter the conversation as the GOAT, you have to win the World Cup. The World Cup is the ticket to enter the GOAT conversation. I disagree. Because I wouldn't judge it based off that one competition to say, oh, because you didn't win that, you weren't one of the GOATs. I don't think so. Just like I wouldn't say, Buffon's not one of the best goalkeepers of all time because he didn't get a Champions League, or same with maybe Zlatan or whatever. I wouldn't use that with other competitions. So I'm not going to do it at the World Cup, especially because it's a knockout competition and it's every 4 years. This is both of them their fifth tournament. Messi obviously got to the final. He's very close, but unfortunately he couldn't get it done. But I'm not gonna agree with that one personally. But that's also because I didn't watch Pele and I didn't watch Maradona and I didn't watch their club matches. So I can't just say, oh, they're just undisputedly better and clear because I didn't even see them. So how am I to know that? I'm just listening to stories and books about it. Okay. So if Mbappe wins it, especially with the injuries to a lot of the main guys, there's some uncomfortable conversations that need to be had. What uncomfortable conversations? Finish that sentence, Miles. Give us a little bit more. What you start that uncomfortable conversation? I'm trying to hear what you're trying to say. National team football is individual brilliance unless you are Spain. Obviously, Enrique's got them playing the tiki-taka. Some wonderful football against Costa Rica. Let's see if they can do that against Germany. Lee says, Welbeck is a better footballer than Ronaldo. I don't believe you. I don't believe he said that. There's no way. There's no way he could say that. I don't believe it. Let's see. What else is being said? We're using the heading ability. No, you have to. No, because for me, of course, like I said, I know who my GOAT is, but you have to take heading ability into account for him because you can score some beautifully headed goals. I'm an admirer of a headed goal because I've had Drogba in my life for a long time as a Chelsea fan. So I'm not one of these people that disregard headers. Headers, you can score some beautiful. Look at Van Persie. Look at Van Persie with the diving header for Holland in that moment. You can score some incredible headers. I remember Drogba scoring some beautiful headers. So I'm never going to disregard headers as not a nice goal. It's a great goal to score if you can do it right. So no, he 100% will get his flowers for that. And even Messi. And the reason why I'm going to bring it up, because I'll say it for Messi, that header that he scored in the Champions League final, where he lost Rio Ferdinand, and he leaped up like a meerkat and headed it back across goal. That was a beautiful header. That's one of Messi's probably most beautiful goals. That's one of his most beautiful goals. Drogba, a header that won the Champions League. How can I, as a Chelsea fan, not respect headers when that header defined my happiness for a good solid 5, 6, 7, 8 years until, we went and did it again. So I have to respect headers, 100%. I have to. Haaland is raging. Yeah, I mean, listen, he can't get involved in the World Cup convos because he's not here. It's long. I think he probably maybe could have played for Germany if he dig deep into his roots. I don't know, but it's long. It's a long day, and they could do with a striker, to be honest. So yeah, could have been fitting as perfectly as a glove there. So we've spoken about Messi, we've spoken about Ronaldo, we've spoken about Enzo, we've spoken about Mbappe. We need to talk about Neymar as well. We need to talk about Neymar. I feel sorry for Neymar. I really, really feel sorry for Neymar. I'd rather not talk about England too much because they were boring as hell. But we need to talk about Neymar first, and then if we've got some time, we'll get to the little sides. I'm talking about main courses right now. Okay, we got to respect the main courses. If we can get over to the little onion rings that are England, then maybe we'll get some time for the onion rings. But right now we're digging into the steak. And Neymar, for keeping it a buck, I feel very sorry for this guy because he just keeps picking up injuries. And then he stayed clear of them for a while. And then again, hacked down in that game. And some people won't feel sorry for him. They'll say he's diving, etc. But do you know why I feel sorry for him? Is because we had a very similar player in Eden Hazard at Chelsea who would carry the ball, who would dribble, who would create something out of nothing, who had a lot of natural talent, who played with joy. Played with a lot of joy. Maybe people will criticize Neymar because he doesn't have that Ronaldo grit, that Ronaldo determination to get to the top in terms of Ballon d'Ors and whatnot. But Neymar plays with a smile on his face. Neymar just enjoys the game. I can relate because I've had Hazard. And sometimes I've criticized and I thought, oh, Hazard, I wish you just had that dog in terms of, not dog in terms of, because he bounced, Coquelin right off the pitch. So he's obviously got the dog in him in that sense to take on challenges, and he's quite strong. But the dog in terms of to dig deep and go and be the best player in the world, because he was capable of, being top 3 more often, in my opinion. Eden Hazard, I think he could have easily been top 3 behind Messi and Ronaldo more often. But these guys, their mentality is not like that. They just want to enjoy. Do you know what I'm saying? They're just here to enjoy. And I feel like because of the type of player they are, they do get kicked the shit out of a lot. Neymar more so than anyone in this present time. He's the most fouled player in the world. It's a spot on, in my opinion. He's clamped, kicked, bruised. And it's a shame because he plays the game in the beautiful way. He plays the game in the way that everybody really should wish to watch it. At least I wish to watch it anyway. Listen, I'm all here for the efficiency. 100%. I want to win football matches. I want to win trophies. But I do admire the players that can do something that most players can't. It's what makes them footballers and what makes us at home not footballers. Sometimes you watch some players and you think, if I didn't lose my sight at 16, or if I didn't pick up that calf injury at 15, or if I just bulked up a little bit and become a road runner, I could have done that. Some players, you just watch them and you think, obviously it's not true because when you go and watch them in training now, they're another level. But sometimes you just watch these guys, even some wingers, for instance. Some wingers, I see them taking on their man. They don't do anything. They don't do any skill. They have no step over, nothing. They just kick it and run. And they're a winger. Like, how are you a winger and your plan when you take on a player's kick and run? How is that possible? How is that actually possible? You have not a single skill move in your arsenal, not a single skill move in your handbook. Some of these crosses, etc. You know what I'm saying? So some of these first touches, sometimes you just think to yourself, we gas ourselves as people that aren't footballers. I think I could have made it, maybe. Do you know what I mean? You think you could maybe, not saying would have played for the top 6 or something, but could have made it. Maybe a little bottom half. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even a little championship team. Could have done it. Could have, maybe if life just panned out different, maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe if father was a footballer or something. But players like Neymar, you don't sit there and think, yeah, I could, yeah. No, you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because even if you can do your little rainbow flick at home and your little skill here and there, doing it at that pace and then doing it up against some of the best defenders in the world, doing it up against some of the best players. This is why I love Ronaldinho, because he used to sit down some legendary, unbelievable defenders, and he used to make them look like bums. He used to make them look like Sunday League defenders. They were doing the splits. They were doing they were doing cartwheels to try and keep up with him. They couldn't find their face from their ass, fam. I don't even know if that's even a saying, but I'm running with it. They were lost in the woods trying to keep up with this man. I love to see players that can humiliate other players. You know, forget this whole we've got families at home nonsense. I love to see players that can humiliate other players. I love it. If I see a player humiliate another one, like I said with the Coquelin thing of Hazard, do you know how much joy we took from Hazard humiliating Coquelin? We had memes for months, for years. That brother span like a fidget spinner, like a blade. We need this in the game. It's very important. We have to run our memes. We have to be enjoying. I can't just be watching road runners and run hard. Listen, we can have a couple road runners here and there because we got to press and whatnot. But I need these luxury footballers. I need these guys who can do something that nobody else can do, because it's what puts bums on seats at the end of the day. This is an entertaining, it's meant to be an entertaining sport. Do you know what I mean? If I wanted to watch, people play the game in the basic manner, we could go and do that at the Sunday League and not have to pay. You know what I mean? You could just rock up and watch. So we want to watch the best footballers, man. We want to watch the best footballers. And I feel like Neymar, it's not a World Cup without Neymar. Now, some will disagree, but I feel like for Brazil, in that central attacking midfield position, so it has to be Neymar playing there, man. If it's Paqueta, and I watch Paqueta, Lord Jesus, listen, he's not a bad player by no stretch of the imagination, but what I watched Paqueta do on that football pitch was a sin. He sinned. You know, you're meant to be Brazilian, my friend. Do you know what I mean? You're meant to be Brazilian. You're meant to occupy a Brazilian passport. Somewhere in your bedside table, in your filing cabinet, somewhere is a Brazilian passport. And best believe you're gonna have to play like one to keep that passport, because we can give it. We can give it to someone else. I saw a Brazilian account saying that we'll take Foden, we'll treat him a lot better. Listen, we could swap those passports around. Can get lost in luggage easily. Do you know what I'm saying? It's easily done. So if I have to see Neymar injured and Paqueta playing like how he played last game in that number 10 role for Brazil, the Brazil, hey, Jesus Christ. No, we will not take that. We will not take that at all. Rafinha was horrendous as well. I'm not gonna speak too much more on it because I don't want to get into the negatives. I'm enjoying this stream. I've been speaking about ballers, but Rafinha was horrendous. Vinicius was wonderful to watch as well. This is another player that once Neymar, does hand over the keys to Vinicius in that Brazil team, I think he will be the one to stand up. Will he be able to go toe to toe with Mbappe? It's going to be a brilliant fight. Do you know what I mean? Vinicius, Mbappe. If Haaland can ever qualify with Norway, although he's a completely different type of player. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. To be honest, in that Brazil game, the only players that played well was Vinicius. Neymar kept getting kicked. He didn't really play that great in the end because he just kept falling to the floor. Vinicius was incredible. So was Casemiro. Casemiro's passing was out of this world. The guy was picking out passes like it was nobody's business. This man was fizzing it in between the lines with such pace, power, venom in his pass, switching play. He was just wonderful. And I think a lot of people are starting to clock with Casemiro that just because he wasn't doing this for Real Madrid, because he didn't have to. He's playing next to Kroos. He was playing next to Modric. Players that would drop deep and dictate. All Casemiro needed to do was make sure that he was in the right place at the right time for the transitions, for win the ball and give it simple, because those players are obviously better on the ball. But Casemiro is brilliant on the ball as well. I mean, we're seeing levels. We're really seeing levels. People were talking about this guy like he was Ndidi on the ball, like he was turning over the ball for Mason Mount at Stamford Bridge for his first Chelsea goal. No. Casemiro on the ball is still a sight to behold. And we saw it at Stamford Bridge, and now we're seeing it for Brazil. And it's why he's playing. It's why Fabinho is not touching that team. And it's great. Don't forget Rodrigo, for sure. I mean, Rodrigo is I know all about Rodrigo. Best believe I saw it in the flesh last season in the Champions League. One of the best super subs to ever be seen. This guy was coming off the bench for Carlo Ancelotti and doing up a madness and coming up trumps more times than you can believe. This guy he raised the eyebrow, looked to Rodrigo, brought him on, and that was the game won every single time. Man City, Chelsea, etc. Rodrigo's got a lot of talent, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing who they finalize that attack for. Is it going to be Vinicius, Mbappe, and Rodrigo as the final three? Is it going to be Vinicius, Mbappe, and Endrick? Is it going to be Vinicius, Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Endrick? Are all Brazilian front three? I'm looking forward to it. And obviously, we have to mention Richarlison. Richarlison's finish, that scissor kick or overhead kick or whatever the hell that was a beautiful thing. I think it was a scissor kick. The first touch to set himself. Beautiful. And then again, this is why, you know, he starts ahead of Jesus, because for what they need tactically, they need someone to stretch. They need someone to get in the box, be in the box and be ready to score goals, not drop deep and interlink and do what Jesus does for Arsenal. You can see why he starts, and his record for Brazil is ridiculous. And he's a good player. You know, I've been following Richarlison since he was at Watford. When he was at Watford as well, people remember, might just now remember quickly that he was at Watford before Everton. And he's always been a guy that's been giving you 12, 13, 14 goals every season. Yes, you know, he's not he's not the best thing since sliced bread, but he's a shit house. So I can tell you that for free. Everybody hates him. He's got a lot of character, and he's got a little bit of tech. He's got a little bit of tech. When he needs to, can pull out a little bit of tech. We saw, you know, he is Brazilian. At times he was doing his kick-ups last few months. And, you know, every media outlet was cussing him for doing his little kick-ups for Tottenham when he was facing his own goal or something. And then obviously this finish here, listen, he's got a little bit of something. Rodrigo stepped up in the last year. Definitely he has. I hope he's a consistent starter soon. I don't know if he's a consistent starter at the moment for Real Madrid. But I'd love to see him as a consistent starter for club and country. I don't know where he's going to play. Probably off the right, maybe. Obviously, you've got Anthony as well. Rafinha needs to fix up quick because he's got some young, enthusiastic, talented boys behind him that can easily take his place. I still think the big glaring issue for Brazil going forward, even though they have been my favourites, and they are my favourites still, just even though France are very impressive, but I'm counting on France not winning back-to-back World Cups, really, is the fullbacks. You know, I know tactically Tito doesn't want to push his fullbacks up. He wants to have them tucked in, or whatever the hell is the plan. But my goodness gracious, they do not help their wingers at all. So that means Paqueta and players like this have got to be much better in the central areas. They've got to help. You know, Paqueta's got to play like Bernardo Silva. He's got to be able to, you know, if he needs to overlap on the right-hand side, do that. So your right winger can cut in. If you need him to be an option in the middle to create, he needs to be able to do that. Because if those Delineos and Sandros are not going to contribute going forward, then Paqueta, players like this need to be much better. I'd love to see Bruno Guimaraes starting, but I've heard that Tito does not drop Paqueta, so it looks like he's going to have to fix up. I think they still use Valverde at right wing majority of the time. Yeah, he's being used as like a right winger who can tuck back into midfield and overload. And then obviously you push Vinicius up, it can become a 4-4-2 maybe, or a diamond, or whatever they want it to be. You know, Valverde has come on leaps and bounds in the last year and a half. The guy is scoring goals. His work rate is ridiculous. He's got everything. He's complete. I will be bringing him to Chelsea on my career mode next summer for Kante, I think, as he starts to drop off. So you can rest assured that Vinicius and Valverde are in my plans for Chelsea in my career mode to replace Kante and Sterling. So that's a little sneak peek for what I've planned for next summer. Let's see. The fullbacks are Mehdi, yes. Let's see what else is being said. Let's think. What else have we not mentioned that we need to mention? We're going to stick on for 8 more minutes. I'm not going to do any longer because I've got to make a video and I've got to be up early for the coverage of the games tomorrow for DL Sports. I'm trying to think what else we have not covered. We've spoken about Brazil, we've spoken about Argentina, spoken about France, spoken about Portugal and Ronaldo. Haven't spoken about England for good reason. Who the hell wants to talk about England, to be honest? I mean, it was poor. Don't understand how Foden doesn't come onto that football pitch for Mason Mount. I don't get it. I think when you're chasing a game, even, you know, just to give you something different, you're chasing. It's an opportunity to give you some creativity, some composure. He doesn't want to bring him on. He said he didn't bring him on because he doesn't play in the middle for Man City. I don't buy it. I think that's a lazy excuse. Yes, he's played out wide for Man City, but it's very, very clear that Phil Foden can occupy in the 10. You brought on Henderson. Henderson and Rice can go into a double pivot, put Foden in the 10. You can't try and lie to anybody who has half a brain cell to try and tell anyone that Foden cannot play the number 10 role ahead of Henderson and Rice, who have plenty of protection, more than enough protection, to play with a Grealish who he knows very well, etc. If you're trying to lie to the people and tell them that can't happen because nobody's buying that. So you need to think of a better excuse. I feel sometimes I hear Southgate saying some shit that is contradicting of what he said the previous press conference. I didn't pick this player because of form, but then you didn't play this player out of form. All these things is just not making any sense. Listen, we'll see how it goes in the next game against Wales. I do expect England to beat Wales. Wales have been trash. They got their draw against US, but that was because of the tactical substitution of bringing on Moore. But I more criticized the US manager for not reacting and actually, reacting to the substitution and doing something about it. They got a much better bench. It was definitely points dropped, missed opportunity, and now they have 2 points from a possible 6 when really they should have 4. But I expect England to beat Wales. Bale is tired as fuck. Very tired, man. Ramsey, I haven't even noticed him, and etc. It's not looking great. Can Southgate manage a Premier League team? I mean, he can definitely get an opportunity. I don't know where or how. I don't think he's going to manage in the top half. He might get a bottom 6, 7 job max. Might get a cheeky Everton job. I mean, we've seen Ollie at Man United leave and still not been given a job, still not offered a job. So people know ball, people know ball. People know the managers, the real ones and the fake ones. So, he's not going to walk into no good job in the Premier League. He's going to go to one of the bottom teams. He's not going to go to. I mean, look, Emery just went to Aston Villa. That tells you all you need to know. Emery has leaps and bounds clear of Southgate. So if Emery's going to Aston Villa, I need I say more? If that's the level in the Premier League. Everybody's got money. Everybody's got ambition. So he ain't going in anywhere near those teams. He's going to have to go to an Everton, or he might go to one of them teams. That's about it. Maybe a Bournemouth. No disrespect, but that's where he's going. That's where he's going. He won't play him well due to having no rhythm in the earlier stages, and then he'll be a scapegoat. If England keep playing the way they're playing, there is no scapegoat because everybody's playing poorly. So then everybody's going to point to him. So I don't really buy that. That doesn't really make sense to me because, nobody played well. When nobody plays well, whose fault is that really? Do you know what I mean? If nobody plays well, then you have to look at the manager because it's like, why is nobody playing well? I couldn't point to an England player that had a good game. You could give it to the defense, but USA still had chances. They had double the opportunities of England. They just didn't take the chances. Pulisic at the crossbar, etc. But nobody really comes away from that looking great. Southampton need a manager. Yeah, Southampton will suit him. I think Southampton will suit him to the ground, 100%. That's the type of job I expect him to go into. Do I think Germany will get it done against Spain? I think Germany against Spain. It's a tough one to call because Spain, I still don't rate Spain's attack that highly, even though they scored how many goals, 7 goals against Costa Rica. I still think Spain attack will be problematic in the latter stages when they come up against top teams and they have less chances. Then the conversion rate has to be strong. That's where I think they'll be lacking. But they've got the best manager in the competition. They play beautiful football. So they're always going to have a chance of doing something because it's all about the system these days. It's not about the individuals as much. So I think it'll be close. Did I watch Germany? Did I get to see Germany live? I did. I don't like Kai Havertz up there for Germany up top. I'd like to see him deeper or even on the bench if he's not going to play to his, if he's not going to play well. I thought Musiala was good despite the SofaScore rating. I thought Musiala was pretty good. He was dangerous. He was causing problems. He was taking people on. Gnabry, I think they missed Leroy Sané a little bit. I'd like to see Leroy Sané, but obviously he's not here with us on this tournament, so that's a shame. Didn't really see much of Müller. Müller, again, I'd prefer Sané. I think it's maybe time to move on from Müller a little bit, especially as a right winger or wherever he was playing. It just didn't really work. So I think it's going to be close, but I think it's all going to be down to the small margins. This has got a draw written all over it. Somebody's got to stand up and do some sort of magic out of nothing. I do think it'll be a tight game. I worry about Saul. Saul in the defense for Germany. He's a little bit leggy. He gives me a little bit Maguire vibes. Obviously, it's no disrespect because Maguire's actually playing pretty well, but gives me a little bit slouchy vibes, a little bit leggy. I think if they can get in and around him and run at him and press him and take him on 1v1 and get on him, then you could find some change out. You could get some loose change out of him. Listen, when it comes to Havertz, I feel like I've put a lot of belief I've put in more than enough prayers, more than enough belief, more than enough looking up to the gods. It's about time that I think it was repaid. So he's got until the end of the season, and I'm waiting. But I love Chelsea more than Kai Havertz. I'm not one of these people that are obsessed with the individuals over the club. I don't have to stand any player because I really don't care. At the end of the day, these players come and go. What I need is Chelsea to be playing at their optimum. I need Chelsea to be back at the top. And I'm not going to get back to the top with these inconsistent players that turn up when they want or don't have the physical capacity to compete. So he needs to step up. I've done a whole heap of defending. I've made every single excuse in the book. I could not come to you with another excuse for this player. He's in his third season. He cost a whole heap of money. He was extremely talented. It's time to step up. And if you don't step up, then you have to go, because this is one of the most impressive. It's one of the most deadliest positions on the planet. It's one of the most technical and talented positions on the planet. The number 10 position, or the wide positions, is where you find some of the best footballers in the game. And best believe we need to have the best footballers in the game in our team to compete with the rest. So, it's up to him. I really don't care. I don't really care at all about this whole hold my stocks nonsense. I've had my stocks in Kai Havertz. I've been defending Kai Havertz. But at the end of the day, it's time for Kai Havertz to defend Kai Havertz. So you want to be a big boy footballer and play for the best teams, then you're going to have to step up and showcase it. And you're going to have to do it consistently because other players do it. If you can't do it, then you have to go back to the Bundesliga where it's a little bit easier, a little bit more time and space, and go and do your thing there. So he's got until the end of the season for me. If he doesn't step up, I personally would like to see him sold at the end of the season and replaced, because like I said, I'm starting to have a lot of question marks, and it's not looking good, is it? So we'll see what happens. But he wasn't great in that game for Germany. But I don't think that position is for him. There was a period where Potter played him a bit deeper when he first came in, and I think Kai had some decent performances, and I think that's the position he's got to play in, because he's not clinical enough to play up front. He just isn't. I've given him I've given him enough time in my head about playing up front, but he doesn't have the killer instinct. He doesn't have the killer instinct. He just doesn't have that. Doesn't have that striker's instinct. He doesn't have that determination. You see what Richarlison had for Brazil, even though Richarlison's not the best striker in the world, but he just has it. He wants to be a striker. And Kai Havertz does not clearly want to be a striker from what I'm watching. So he's going to have to drop deeper. And that means he's going to have to get a hell of a lot more creative. And that's another question mark for him. How creative is he going to get? So we'll see. But I'm not really bothered. I'm not really bothered at all. I'm not going to lie to you, because the new regime have not spent money on him. So they won't feel the need to stick by him as long as maybe the old regime would have. So I'm expecting them to just cash in, like they got rid of Lukaku on loan and all these things, because they need to compete quickly. We're judging them. They're new. We're judging them just like the new manager. We're judging the new board and all these people. So judging the new scouts. So you ain't got no time to waste in terms of longing the process out with these players. So that's on him. I'm going to wrap things up. We've spoken about a lot. There's not really much to speak about with Nkunku. We've agreed on Nkunku. He's injured at the moment. We just got our doctors watching him and keeping an eye on him. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully he recovers quickly. I think that's basically a done deal. We go from there. So until next time, big up your damn selves. In terms of Mason Mount, contract, all these things, I'm going to do a Chelsea video. I haven't done a Chelsea video in a while, so we're going to do that and put that out separately, because I know a lot of people want to know on that one what I think maybe. But I'm gonna make that separately, because let's not let it get lost in the hour. So yeah, big up. Make sure you smash up the likes. The FIFA career mode will be back probably maybe tomorrow. I was gonna do it today, but I saw the GOATs in the last couple of days, and today I saw the Wonder Kids balling out. Vinicius, Mbappe. I feel like I had to say something. Do you know what I'm saying? We had to have a moment and appreciate the greatness. So lateness is greatness. And big up. I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace. Come on, people.